Namaste and welcome to another edition of Concept with Karan. And I have my good friend and colleague Prateek Pant from WhiteOak Capital Mutual Fund joining me today evening. Prateek, welcome to the talk. And first of all, many congratulations on the successful launch of the FlexiCap Fund and WhiteOak starting mutual fund operations in India. Just a quick highlight on that, or any key points that stood out for you during the launch?
Sure. So it's been a journey, Karan, which was in the making. From the time Prashant actually thought about setting up an asset management company. It's not really in 2017, but it goes back to the days when you were in Goldman, right? And the
Yes.
whole concept of setting up an asset management business of a certain scale. So it's a culmination of that almost a 15-year journey,
So
which
true.
has seen the light of the day last month, right? And to that extent, we all are extremely excited. We've had an amazing response from the market. It's not just the quantum of money which you collect, right? But we had about 28,000 unique investors who came and invested with us. We got money from more than 300 cities in India, right? And I think more importantly, more than 2,000 distributors contributed, right? So we had made some, WhiteOak was known as a boutique, organization with focus on PMS and AIF. So the journey to retail, in a way, this is just a stepping stone for us. And I'm very thankful to all partners, investors who've trusted us on day one. And the good part, Karan, is that flows continue to be very strong even after the NFO is closed and the fund is open for subscription.
Y'all are now coming up with two more funds, the mid cap fund and the tax fund. I think mid and small cap is a real sweet spot for WhiteOak. That's where you all excel. That's the sense I get after speaking to all of you. Just some thoughts on that, Prateek, and why would this be such a key differentiator for WhiteOak going ahead?
Sure. So, Karan, as you would know, right, at WhiteOak Group, we manage almost now more than 45,000 crores of equity assets. And interestingly, all the 45,000 crores is in FlexiCap format. So this is the first niche product, if one may say, anywhere in the world, which WhiteOak Group is actually launching right now, which is focused only on the mid-cap segment. And you rightly said that even within the FlexiCap fund, if you see, we've always been, we never take those top-down bets, right? कि इतना mid-cap, इतना small cap, इतना large cap होना चाहिए. The allocation is more an outcome of a stock selection process, right? And in that stock selection, what we say is that we find a lot more opportunities within the small and mid cap universe, right? And that has helped us in generating outperformance versus the benchmark. So our benchmark today, when you look at BSE 500, almost 80% of the benchmark is in large cap, 15% in mid, and 5% in small. We've tended to be 50 to 60% in large, 20 to 30% in mid, and 10 to 20% in small. So you're right. About 40 to 50% of our portfolio has actually been in the small and mid cap universe. So even here, as we are constructing this, so imagine if you had the outperformance which you've had on a flexi cap strategy, where large cap typically provides stability to the portfolio, and the small and mid cap is provided outperformance. If we can replicate that within 100% of the a mid cap strategy, and that's the reason our own belief is that this would be a very strong performance oriented strategy from the WhiteOak stable, while FlexiCap will continue to be our flagship. But when it comes to delivering that knockout blow on performance, we're again putting our heads out and saying, look out for the mid cap strategy from WhiteOak Capital. This will be a fun to look out for.
Yeah, very interesting. You say that 50% of Flexi is already demonstrated, and I'm assuming and I'm sure that Flexi's outperformance, the large attribution and outperformance would be this 50%
Absolutely.
mid and small cap.
We've shared those analysis with our partners, with our investors. When we do our performance review, we've spoken about what type of outperformance comes from each segment of the portfolio which we have. And clearly the outperformance on the small and mid cap is significantly higher than what it is on the large cap side. It's just because, when you look at the mid cap space, Karan, it's a very interesting space. It's about two attributes, right? One of that is that you're choosing the right stocks, right? And I'll talk about that a little bit more. But a very important one, and which was demonstrated in 2018 by WhiteOak Group, is avoiding the wrong stocks. There were so many disasters in 2018, right? You had a travel company which went bust. You had a bank which went bust. You had, companies in the engineering space, in services, in IT services. So many of these companies actually went bust. And fortunately for us, because of the type of forensic analysis we do, the type of primary research we do, the large 35-member investment team we have in place today, we've been able to avoid those type of minefields, right? And when it comes to choosing the right stocks, I think the type of opportunities which midcap actually offers is very, very unique in India, Karan. We've done this comparison of midcap space across different markets, and India is actually the most well diversified market within the mid cap space, right? It's got great contribution. Today, the largest tire company is a mid cap company. The largest capital goods company is a mid cap company. So even when you look at the diaspora, right, great opportunities in the textile space, in apparels, capital goods. These are type of exposures. In a country which is growing from 3 trillion to 5 trillion, you will suddenly see that tailwind of opportunities. These companies will find a much larger market, right? When we go back in time, and I think one of the biggest things on mid cap, if you see today, how do you define mid cap? It's basically you exclude the first 100 stock and then start looking at 350. So between 101 to 250, 350 that's 250, sorry, is the 150 stocks there are really defined within the mid cap space. And that is typically about 16 and a half, 17,000 crores to about 45,000 crores. Karan, when we both of us used to work, you remember together, mid cap was 1,000 crores 15 years back, right? So imagine mid cap definition has moved from 1,000 to 15,000, 16,000 crores.
So true.
And that is because India has grown, right? And with that, there are companies which have grown. So sometimes people think mid cap is about taking additional risk or looking at, but it's not true. You've got, world leaders in chemical companies, in textiles, in apparels, in capital goods. They're all mid-cap companies. It's because the market is small right now in India. And as we grow from 3 trillion to 5 trillion to 10 trillion economy, right, this market will expand. So we're very excited about this whole mid-cap space. And I think there are going to be great opportunities there. Of course, you need to be careful. As I said, you have to have a great team in place on the forensic side to ensure that you navigate the minefields.
No, it sounds really exciting given that you all excel as far as mid and small cap is concerned, finally getting a product that can be bought by retail investors and high net worth investors across the country. That's a great sign, and I wish you and your team all the best for the
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.